Pyra's got the kill power for it, so not going to struggle to take stocks as much.
Right. Although I am thinking now, because Nithra has those like aerial, those initial aerial strings, and I feel like some of those actually be really potentially good at separating them. I don't know though. I don't play the character, so.
That said, though, we're going to be jumping into Shinkou versus JDV.
Yeah.
Oh, winner's quarters. Okay, Shinkou kind of making a run so far, it seems like.
Absolutely. Shinkou, you know, known to many in the scene as a long mainstay in the scene since Smash 4.
Yeah.
Played Sheik in that game, playing Sheik in this game, keeping the character alive, and keeping JDV in disadvantage right now.
Yeah, Shinkou's definitely a veteran of the scene. Was largely inactive for the a majority of like the first half of Ultimate's lifespan, I'd say. Was definitely active like during the early like stages of it, but kind of tapered off attendance-wise in the latter half. But good to see him back, and slowly but surely, he's kind of like acclimating to the new meta, new scene, everything like that. And like I swear he's just been steadily doing better and better.
Yeah. It's been interesting watching. Oh my gosh! But there's
That
the
said,
class
though,
JDV.
yeah, you got JDV is built different.
Built very different.
One might say.
And just like here's the thing is, it's like you look at the stock and the percentage count, and it's like that whole first stock was pretty dominated by Shinkou just controlling neutral and just getting in on JDV. But just like, okay, just now crossing 100% threshold, just not doing a ton of damage, and then all JDV needed to do is just keep his cool and just land one of his patented bell confirms. Damn, that would have
Shinkou went deep. Oh, okay. I guess the S
killing.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta throw out those kill moves.
Yeah, keeping it really, really close with JDV. I
think JDV probably got most of his damage off of reversals, if anything. But yeah, Shinkou's been... I mean, if there's one thing that you gotta excel at, especially if you play Sheik, is neutral.
Right.
Granted, I think a lot of people underrate her damage output. Like, it's actually pretty damn good. It's like like low risk, medium reward, but the thing that people forget about Sheik is that you can kind of like end a string and still be in advantage state. And,
right, that is true.
And I think she has like one of the most flexible advantage states in the game. Not necessarily like, it's not like overpowering. She doesn't like blow you up per se.
It's creative though. You can kind of just imagination.
She can kind of just keep you there forever. If she really wants to, if she plays her cards correctly.
It's so, and I mean, it's so crazy though, because JDV just, again, I feel like in terms of time, if you were to kind of do it from like a football analogy, like time in possession, time in control, and advantage, I think Shinkou overwhelmingly so far has that stat. But we look at where the game is at, and JDV has just kept his cool, managed to get reversals like you were mentioning earlier, and then land in the bell hits, and confirm because PAC-MAN smash attacks are crazy and kill at 100%.
Yeah, I think for sure, like, Shinkou's probably won over twice as many neutral interactions, but JDV has more than made up for it with, like, his consistent reversals and his damage. And also just, like, sealing out those stocks. Speaking of sealing out stocks, though, Shinkou, on top of that needle bouncing fish, keeping it competitive.
And to your point about, like, the damage output, not just on the straight, because, you know, the stray hits maybe they don't do a lot of damage, but if you're getting one of those Sheik strings across the stage, ending in a bouncing fish, it's probably doing, you know, I don't know, 60 or something. It's definitely attacking on a decent amount, and you got to respect, that move kills dummy early. Like, PAC-MAN was already pretty high up there, but, oh, and using the bell reversal.
Shinkou's got something cooking in the kitchen. All right.
And there's going to be the momentum here. If Shinkou can take game one.
Yeah, and honestly, he's slowly but surely, like, he's digging this bag. He's digging deep.
I'm afraid for Shinkou going down low off stage, because JDV's off stage and under the stage game is actually, like, immaculate.
I think if there's a character that can go, like, super deep off stage, though, I think Sheik is definitely one of them.
Absolutely, and playing a little friendlies earlier with Shinkou. Okay. But yeah, that just kind of kept him out. But, like, Shinkou's offstage game is actually really crazy. Does some crazy, weird, and creative, aggressive options that I don't know if JDV is super experienced with. I don't know how much Sheik experience frankly, JDV actually has.
Probably not a lot, if I had to guess. If he's played against anyone Sheik here, it's probably like PAC-MANs.
Right.
But I don't even know if PAC-MAN would pull out Sheik. But
Apple. The coveted little apple coming in through the diagonal. It's just, you never expect it. That's one thing JDV is super, super good at is using, like, obviously Bell is really a broken, insane move. But, like, using all the fruit on rotation and not overusing some of them, so when they come out like this clutch little side option that you just never thought, that was the first apple of the game, but used it in that moment to secure that final stock.
Yeah, definitely like a conditioning factor, I think. And just like knowing the utility of it and kind of keeping it in your back pocket for when it counts, just like we saw there. I think that's the sign of like top player, I think, or someone who definitely knows what they're doing. But honestly, Shinkou kept it real close, so
JDV just runs off stage. Just like, here, you can have the stage. I don't even care. Stage control, I don't need it. I'm good. I'm good just charging my fruit with my oh my
goodness.
Damage.
The damage is piling up.
And that's the other thing I think we're going to start to see. JDV has probably one of the best parry games in Washington. And if you can start to parry some of those stray Sheik hits, it's going to be rough, because it's one of the things Sheik is good at. She can swing on you. Moves are incredibly fast.
Yeah, she has a lot of fast moves, and they all have like pretty decent hitboxes, all things considered.
There looks to have been some, I don't know what changed, but some of the I don't know what kind of, top player download adaptation has occurred, but the feeling of Shinkou just kind of dominating neutral has disappeared. That is not happening any longer.
Yeah, getting the kill off that back air. It seems like Shinkou's kind of just having a hard time getting anything started. He's getting a lot of straight hits, but they're not leading into anything. And I think overall he's just having a harder time getting in.
Yeah, definitely. If you're not getting those strings going, and you're just getting the stray, Sheik fares here and there or back airs, I mean, you can't win a set that way. I mean, those moves do, 5% each, 7%. Like, they don't do enough, so you need to be getting those conversions. And JDV seems to be able to set up his kind of Pac-Man shenanigans to just be interrupting. Well, as I say that, getting into the bouncing fish,
kind of just
evening it up, saying, literally, Goose, you can just go burn in hell. And, yeah, the match is actually even now. Excuse me.
Well, I heard you talking smack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but Shinkou, like, found his way back in. He was kind of having a hard time adjusting. I think that middle platform was a little bit awkward to work around in this matchup for a little bit, but Shinkou just able to kind of find those conversions and was able to answer back. But right as we say that, JDV building up the damage again. But
JDV is such just a, like, more than any player I've ever played against, JDV is just the slow and steady, wins the race game plan that just always consistent, always kind of knows exactly what he wants to execute. And it just feels like he's kind of just figured some small adaptations out to not just get put into the Sheik blender, keeping himself in between the Hydrant and Shinkou more often, so like kind of interrupting some of the combos that he'd like to be starting, and just constantly making Shinkou play his game. That is one thing that Pac-Man is pretty good at. Dominating, just making you just decide, this is how we're going to play this match.
Yeah, I think he's doing a really good job of just like manipulating what ranges Shinkou wants to approach from, and catches the landing with the back air.
JDV getting always a lot of mileage with those back airs, and you don't really think of Pac-Man back air as like a, oh, that's the kill move. But one thing I've noticed about JDV specifically is lots of back air reads and lots of kills at kind of higher percent. Like, besides the obvious, Bell up smash, Bell F smash. Back air doing a lot of work.
I mean, I think JDV is definitely one of those players that's content to just keep doing damage to you. Even if he, like, doesn't kill you, like, you're gonna die eventually. And if there's someone who's willing to wait, like, play the long game and play that kind of war of attrition, it's definitely JDV. And,
That was. I think that I don't know about that DI in that instance.
I think that Hydrant kind of snuck up on him. Yeah,
I do.
It kind of just came out of nowhere.
And I mean, Hydrant definitely a dummy, strong, like pretty big hitbox. But I think Sheik was at like, I want to say like 80-something% there, and that wasn't even fully off stage. I think probably livable. Definitely a good showing by Shinkou.
Yep.
Can't really be upset about that, frankly, at all.
I think that was a pretty good showing. Yeah.
Losing to the #1 player in the state, and keeping it very, very close. And like you were saying earlier, clearly Shinkou going on a pretty good run. So still carrying on in losers, and have to see how well they do in the tournament.
Yeah, excited to see how his performance ends up panning out. Already, I think pretty establishing or has done a pretty good job establishing yeah, don't sleep on me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I remember initially when they started coming out to brackets, it was months ago, but just it's kind of hard to seed because it's you're seeding